Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to the Capricorn full moon sign specific reading. This is going to go through all the signs. I'm going to start with Capricorn, and I am blanking on the date of the full moon. I want to say the 29th, but double check me on that. I'm not 100% positive. And hello to anyone who's hopping on. I'm recording this really late, so I don't think I'm going to have anyone hop on live. Oh, I spoke too soon. Somebody is on here. Hello, if you're watching late with, or if you're up late with me, unless you're in a different part of the world. And then this is going to be a good reading if you know where Capricorn is in your chart, because that's where the full moon is happening. Okay, one more deck. I know people are still hopping on. And then post in the comments below, what's your sun, moon, and rising? Where is the full moon happening for you? And how is everybody doing with Cancer season? Okay. If you are watching this on YouTube, I will have already posted the timestamps, so you are welcome to check those out. If you're watching me live on Facebook, then I obviously don't have them yet. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and start with Capricorn. Since it is the Capricorn moon. All right, first thing coming up, Six of Swords. What are you moving away from? Where is your bigger vision guiding you, and what steps are you taking to get there? That's really what this full moon is going to be about for you, is what's the big vision and how are you making that happen? The Witchling card that I have for you is opportunity. Yep, it's about saying yes to the right opportunities and the right timing. The world is full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. This has in large part to do with your motivation, your personal sense of, yes, I'm going to do that. Yes, I'm going to make it happen. Yes, I'm going to do the work and fulfill my potential in that way, but you can just as easily say no or turn this down. And then the other thing I want to mention about this is with the full moon, it's a good time to release. So on the other side of this, it's about where do you need to make space for something bigger and better? What is that for you? And the final card for you is the Nine of Wands. Motivation. So it looks like you get some of your energy back. If the full moon is making you really tired, then I would just hang in there a little bit and hold off, because it's going to be coming back. Oh, wow. Hello to everybody who's hopping on. I'm on Aquarius if you are just joining me live. Okay, and it's good if you're sun, moon, or rising Aquarius. First, we have Nine of Rods. For you, I think that this is going to just be an extension of the momentum that you've already been building. I don't think you have anything new coming up. I think this is just about progression with what you're already working with. So this is exciting for you, especially if this is something that you've been wanting or working towards. It's kind of like you've planted the right seeds, you've said yes to the right things, you've held on to what's working for you, and now you just need to keep that up. All right, and we also have prosperity. Know that you deserve all things wondrous and believe that you can have them. Okay, so that's definitely true. There is nothing that is too outlandish or crazy or wild. There's nothing too extreme that you can't have. Everything that you want is within reach. And as long as you remember that, it's going to make manifesting those things much easier. And then we also have King of Cups. So what are you doing to cope with your emotions during this full moon? That's going to be really important. Make sure that you have your tools ready. Make sure that you're ready to go if you have a bad day, if you get particularly emotional, if this full moon is really exhausting or making you feel particularly empathic, especially for Aquarians. That can sometimes be a little bit off-putting. So if you're not used to that, then you want to make sure that you have a plan ready for yourself so that you can manage them a little bit easier and allow it to work for you. And just accept that you're going to be processing a lot during this full moon. All right, Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So, what seeds are you planting? This is the initiation stage for you. It might be something where I'm getting that there might be a little roadblock in there for you, where it's something that you kind of need to let go of. Pay attention to where the full moon's happening for you, and that's going to be a big tell as to what adjustments you need to make, what needs to be tweaked, all of that stuff. So I would just notice what you need to phase out and then what you need to call in. The other message that's coming up is anything that you want, anything that you need, whether it be money or friends or whatever, you want to scatter a whole bunch of different prospects for that. So don't look at it through tunnel vision. Make sure that you're being open-minded about how it's going to come in. And then we have vitality. Vitality is the beaming force that gives energy and vigor to life. So I think that particularly after the full moon is going to be like a breath of fresh air. So that's coming up for several signs. I wouldn't be surprised if you feel like there's a huge weight that gets lifted off your shoulders after this passes. Okay, and then lastly, we have Two of Cups. Connection, collaboration. Is there a love interest that you have? Is there somebody that you've been meaning to connect with? I think that the ball is really going to be rolling again after the full moon. For you in particular, I would say this week, depending on when you're watching this. I'm recording this on Sunday night / Monday morning. So for you, if you feel like you need to take a break this week, I would say let yourself, don't push yourself too hard, because after the full moon, it's going to be all systems go for you. That's a hit that I'm getting. All right, Aries. Whew. Okay. 10 of Wands, what are you taking on right now? What's on your plate that really shouldn't be there? And by shouldn't, I mean what's making you feel overwhelmed. This full moon is the perfect time to ask for things that are no longer serving you or that are cluttering your space to be released. I would set your intention, this would be my recommendation, that you really make it specific on the areas where you want and need more space, and just ask for that to happen as is in your highest good. So that's the phrasing that I would use. And then make sure that if you're setting the intention, that you allow this to be gentle, easeful, really emphasize words like that, because sometimes if you ask for a break, it can be shocking if that gets delivered rapidly. So just make sure that you are asking for things to be easy and gentle, but this is about paying attention to where is your energy being drained. Then we have confidence. Self-confidence opens you to the energy required to carry you through each day at your very best. So then the question becomes, is overworking the way that you are kind of solidifying that feeling of confidence? Is this something that you're doing because you're very attached to the part of you that does things every day all the time? Is that something that you need to redefine with this full moon? I'm just prompting you with questions. All of this is for your reflection and for your, personal sense of sanity and alignment. Okay, and then lastly, we have the Page of Pentacles. So there is some initiation energy. I think that if you are feeling burnt out, really make sure you're not taking on more, because the Page of Pentacles is the tendency to just initiate, but has very poor follow through. That's where the Page of Pentacles isn't patient. And so if you find yourself just getting fed up with the status quo or the way things are, you might be eager to move on to the next thing. But I would say slow down and just free up your schedule a little bit and see what that does for your energy levels. Okay, and Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hello to everybody who's hopping on. I know I'm going on at a very strange time. So, okay, Taurus. 3 of Wands. What are you fixated on right now? So what really is exciting you and making you feel motivated to move forward and shift into the larger picture of who you are and what you're becoming and what you're doing with your life? This is about big vision, macro. That's a huge component of this card. So it looks like you are able to do some really solid manifesting with that this full moon. Okay, and then we have wish. A wish motivates the heart's desire, keeping hope and faith alive. Yep, make a wish. Focus on what do you want at the end of the day? What do you want 10 years, 20 years from now? Those are the types of wishes that you want to make for this full moon. And then we also have the star. So this should be absolute confirmation that you're heading in the right direction. Even if things are crappy and challenging right now, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that is working out in your favor that you may not be able to see, and that's okay. Keep your eye on the prize and remember that things are getting better, they're improving, they're happening for you. So just allow yourself to feel that as much as you can. Okay. Gemini, 3 of Swords. This moon, big release. I also want to mention that because the sun is in Cancer with this moon, it's going to be probably for Gemini a little bit stickier when you have all that cerebral energy and then you're coming back down into your emotions and body. That's a big shift. And so for you, this might feel a little bit or a lot intense at this time. So allow yourself, I would say, give yourself permission to cry. Give yourself permission to not be hyper motivated. Give yourself permission to say no if you're having a bad day. We need those reminders because some people are just like power through it, but I'm going to remind you it's okay to rest too. It might be a really intense moon for you. Let's see what else is coming up. Communication, very Gemini. Effective communication builds a deep bond grounded in common trust and understanding. So communicating whatever grief is coming up for you. Remember, grief doesn't just mean a lost loved one. Grief can be grieving a part of yourself, an opportunity. It can be a phase of your life. It can be a partnership. It can be anything that you feel you're releasing and shedding those emotions. That's what grief energy is. So it's much more abstract than what you may think when you see the Three of Swords. And we also have the Page of Cups. Yeah, this is going to be an emotional one, you guys. You just want to let it ride out. There's nothing you can do with the emotions. You just want to make sure that you are tapping into support if you can, or you're making sure that you have self-care dialed in. Whatever it is that works for you when you have an emotional time, just try to exercise those tools as best as you can. And Cancer, the Magician, great time to manifest, especially because the sun is in your sign. Set your intentions. It's okay if you don't do it the day of the full moon. I wanted to mention that. The energy carries for a few days, so if you're particularly fatigued, I know that a lot of you are moon sensitive. If you're particularly fatigued, don't worry about it. Do it the next day. Do it the night before if that's when you feel really inspired. Just take some time to jot down some stuff that you want. It can be tangible, intangible, relational, material, whatever you'd like. Nurture. Nurturing your inner child supplies you with the innocent joy of living. Really take care of yourself and remind yourself that you're worthy of good things. I would say the message that's coming through is watch yourself with media right now, right? This isn't about burying your head in the sand. That's not what I mean, but maybe take a day off. Don't wake up and watch news first thing. You know, that might really stir the pot for you. Just give yourself a break or pay attention to what's happening with your mood when you're really, really diving into media, because it makes a difference. And at the same time, you want to be informed. You also want to be taking care of yourself. So just remember you can do both. And then we also have Page of Swords. So this is also a time to get the notebook out, get a pen and paper out, pay attention to the ideas, the inspiration that's coming through for you. It's going to be a really impactful time for that. So just jot it down. If you have the idea, make a note of it. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ace of Pentacles. What's being delivered? I feel like this is a manifestation showing up. It might be something that you've already seen, something that you've already kind of witnessed, but this is about showing appreciation for that. Or if you've been setting your intention and manifesting, you want to show gratitude before it arrives. So it's kind of like setting the tone for, oh, I already have this and I'm feeling that in my body. That is going to really amplify the abundance that you get during this moon cycle. In particular, I would say that this more so is pointing to the next month. So until the next full moon, you want to be practicing that. And then we also have Serenity. The spirit of serenity brings a calmness and connectivity of all that is. So I think that you're going to be seeing some major patterns. Thank you for all the hearts. You're going to be seeing some major patterns show up in terms of how you feel what you manifest, what comes through, whether or not you have a good day or a bad day, what was different about, the times when you were really feeling on top of the world, and what was different about the times that you were feeling down in the dumps. Take note of all those feelings, because it's going to give you a lot of information about what you need to integrate more of, and how you can feel really in alignment with the direction that you're going and the decisions that you're making. And then we have Four of Wands. Make yourself a nice meal. I would like, what I'm getting is go on a date with yourself. Like, don't worry about being around other people. When's the last time you went and treated yourself to a movie and dinner, or got a pedicure and read a book, or went on a coffee date by yourself and just kind of enjoyed being with yourself? That's what's coming through as the other piece of advice. I would say take care of that, or you can do this at home. It doesn't have to be something where you go spend money. You can just cook for yourself at home, watch a movie, take a bath, do something that makes you feel good at home, or something that makes you feel like you're pampering yourself. I think that needs to happen with this full moon. Men too. Men aren't excluded. Men too. Okay. Virgo. Let's see what's going on. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. King of Rods. This is showing up as a person big time. Who are your fire sign friends? Is there somebody who really is holding on to this picture of divine masculinity that you are using as a model? I don't know why that wants to come up, but there's something about spending more time with fiery friends, fiery people is going to give you a lot of motivation and a lot of healing and feelings of consistency and inspiration with what you need to do. So pay attention to all those fiery friends. And then we also have happiness. If happiness is what you want, then happy you shall be. This is pointing to the idea that there's a lot of decision making involved in happiness, and people forget that. There is a lot of micro decisions that you're making throughout the day, where each micro decision you are choosing happiness or not. So don't forget that you do have a lot of autonomy and a lot of power in your experience on the planet. Not always easy to remember that, but just I'm reminding you of your own ability and power to do that. And then we have the Devil. Okay, so specifically in this deck, ignore the Devil for a moment and just Pandora's box. I'm getting that this full moon is probably going to be a doozy for you emotionally. It's okay. It is Cancer season, so it is the time to pick up the box of tissues and let yourself have a day. So I'm seeing this as a lot of that old stuff coming up and making an appearance. It wants to come to the surface for healing. It's okay that Pandora's box is open. It's just about understanding that a lot of that is for your highest good. It needs to come to the surface for resolution and just to be witnessed within yourself. You don't have to do anything with the trauma or baggage. You just want to witness it. That's really all that, all we need is to be seen. And so that's what's coming up for you. I would say take the day of the full moon off if you can, or whichever day you're feeling a little bit heavier than usual. But this is passing. This is just something that's showing up. It also might make you feel a little bit more grounded if you are surrounding yourself with your fiery friends. All right, Libra. Libra, sun, moon, rising, 5 of Cups. So something isn't quite right. I think that You might feel like you only have 60% of what you want, but you're focusing on the 40% that isn't matching your perfect picture about the way you want something to be. It's all about perception with this card, because you can see he has 2 cups that are still standing behind him. So remember, what you focus on will grow. That's what the 5 of Cups teaches us. Dreams. Dreams are an expression of collective experiences combined with messages from the spirit world. I have a whole bunch of things to say about that definition of dreams. But what I would say about this is referring more to your energy levels than it is specific dreams. Not everyone remembers dreams. Think about how much energy it takes to bring memories from the astral into earth time. It requires a great deal of energy. That's why not many people bring them through. So for you, you might sleep for a long time, or you might feel extra drained. You might feel a little bit more pessimistic or doom and gloom for this moon. That's kind of what the sleepy card and the disappointment card are reflecting. So again, this is a moon that is worth taking a break around. I'm going to pull this card first before I speak to that. The High Priestess. So pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to your gut reaction, pay attention to who you feel gravitated towards at this time. Just notice and acknowledge it. Let yourself rest. Big. It's very important for you during this full moon to rest. All right, Scorpio. Seven of Cups. What options are showing up for you? What are all the different directions and different avenues? I'm seeing this as being something that's really liberating for you. So what I mean by that is, if you can remind yourself that there are infinite solutions, infinite possibilities, infinite just experiences to be had, there's a lot more that can happen within the space of possibility rather than within the space of confinement. So more is better for you. If you're trying to resolve something, you want to remind yourself of how many solutions there are and how many different paths there are in this lifetime. You're not confined to just one. Then we have courage. Courage is the strength to stand up when it's easier to fall down. Amen. Not easy. Again, doing the work is hard. Doing the work is really challenging, and being courageous in that regard is something that takes a lot of personal power. So it looks like that looking at all the options and avenues is what supplies you with courage rather than, staring up at a pinhole. It's about looking at all the different avenues, and when you see all the different possibilities, it makes it easier to tell yourself, okay, we can do this. And then we have Justice. I'm getting more of the blindfolded reference in this card in particular. So remember that there is no concrete outcome. There never is. No matter how many psychics you go to, there's never one concrete answer. So it's okay to go in blind a little bit. Remind yourself of the possibilities. That is going to make it a lot easier to not know the outcome. It's just about using this as an avenue to keep your faith up to snuff. All right, last but not least, we have Sagittarius. Alrighty, let's see. 8 of Cups. Whew, big mental transition. I think that this is partly because you are really having to be in your body, which is going to help shift a lot of those perspectives. So when you sit in the emotions more during an emotional time, it makes it much easier to kind of feel into the contours of your thought processes. And so for you, the Eight of Cups is really about that transformation internally in your mindset. And then we also have relaxation. Stop your world from spinning by partaking in a well-deserved moment of relaxation. Okay, so just again, this is important for everybody to allow yourself to take breaks during the full moon, particularly if you're super moon sensitive, or if you know that you struggle with water or earth moons. You know, just paying attention to these patterns that show up. And that's going to give you a lot of insight as to when you need to really crank up the self-care and when you can use a little bit more of your energy. And so then we also have the Wheel of Fortune. This means that it's going to go either way. It depends on whether or not you're really taking advantage of this opportunity to shift your mindset. That's what the Eight of Cups is about, a different perspective. And so I think that if you take a step back, you relax and just take some time to think things through and see if there's any dysfunction showing up in your thought patterns, then it's going to give you a lot of ground to kind of run and get the things that you want and lead a happier life where really anything is possible. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is able to convey. Now that's all I have for the reading. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and thank you so much for liking, sharing, and watching with me. Thank you, everybody, and don't forget, if you would like to get a reading, go to onyxhealing.com, and I will talk to you all later. Bye-bye, everybody.